It goes.
Right. As we mentioned at the start of the program, yesterday police in Makueni arrested 6 members of the local county assembly who stormed St. Joseph's Girls Kibwezi in an attempt to block the newly transferred principal from taking over. And in West Pokot County, Kapenguria Boys High School was closed indefinitely. We can see some graphic now after students staged protests against the transfer of the former school principal. This is the latest chaos to hit schools following the transfer of more than 500 head teachers, with Police Chief Joseph Poinet ordering the arrest of those behind the protests. Let's now get an update, or of course get the views of Wilson Sosion, Secretary General, Kenya National Union of Teachers, and a nominated Member of Parliament. I trust you can hear me loud and clear. Good morning, Mheshimiwa.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you, and I hope you're well. Let's get straight into this. Yesterday there were at least 2 incidents at high schools, and I'm sure you heard about them. I would like to get your first thoughts as the union regarding what took place.
I will state the position of the union on this matter. This is a policy that has not been properly negotiated, that has not been agreed upon. It's a policy that the Teacher Service Commission is trying to impose. And I will state clearly the resolution of Kenya National Union of Teachers in its 60th Annual Delegates Conference. Resolution number 17, which we have served upon the Teacher Service Commission, is that the delegates strongly oppose the Teacher Service policy on delocalization as currently envisaged by the Teacher Service Commission. And this is informed by the professional fact that delocalization will meet resistance in certain parts of the country. Delocalization has not been negotiated properly. The different stakeholders have not been engaged, and the basis that the commission is using is not professional at all.
Honorable Sosion, allow me to interrupt you. So is your problem the concept of delocalization or how it is being done? Which is the issue for you? Is it how it's being done?
It is wrong, fundamentally wrong. How it's being done, what we are witnessing are indicators. If it has never happened in the history of our education circle that within the first week of the year, students are out on strike. It has never happened that when transfers are done, a whole church comes out to raise issues and object. And you know, the history of this country, we can't ignore the churches, because the various churches are sponsors of these particular schools.
Okay,
and you cannot ignore the communities where these schools are resident. So, but fundamentally here, there is a disease of lack of proper consultation. And you remember, as a union, we threatened a strike, and later on we opted to go slow, so that we are not seen as a union that is strike happy. But fundamentally, this is a system that will not work. And if we have to ensure stability of schools, because what is important is stability of schools,
Honorable Sosion, if
Teacher Service Commission must revisit and drop this agenda.
Okay. Change is always resisted. We've seen this over the years in Kenya. Whenever a CS, whenever a ministry wants to introduce new measures, it usually takes time. We've seen matatu reforms. We've seen NEMA coming forth with changes in how plastic bags.
No, we cannot ride on. We cannot ride on semantics of change with imagination that what is being done is good. We must look at it. The policy making from expert point of view requires that it is negotiated. If it has to work, you must negotiate with the stakeholders, appraise them, get them to support, get them to understand. And this has not been done in this case. That's number one. Number two, the Constitution of Kenya 2010 requires that any policy being rolled out for the first time must be taken through public participation. That is the Constitution, and the Constitution is supreme to any other law. And therefore, what is being done is against the Constitution. So we cannot get down to the debates and semantics. What does the Constitution say?
Okay.
What TSC is doing, is it right? Fundamentally, it is wrong. And professionally, you cannot develop an idea of removing teachers from their homes. It's against the UN policy. If we bring in the international standards of teacher deployment, because Kenya must work within the international standards of teachers deployment.
So in that case,
teachers should be deployed closer to their communities because of cultural connection, emotional connection, so that they can mobilize the communities towards support of education. And what we are seeing here is a reaction to destabilization.
In that case, Sekjen, what is your union going to do? Are you going to court? You are saying this is against the Constitution.
We don't support violence. We don't support violence. The only cure to this, not that what is the union is going to do, we have a resolution, so we maintain our position. Our position under the Constitution is to place proper advice before the government of Kenya. And we are developing a very comprehensive professional paper that we shall serve on the Teacher Service Commission latest Tuesday on what we think professionally, what international statute says, what international UNESCO standards on deployment of teachers is talking about, because we are encouraging all communities, including the Dorobos, to have their own teachers, the El Molos, the minority groups. Every community, they must have their own teachers, and those teachers must work within those communities and mobilize education. That is the international norm. And I think the commissioners and the management of TSC are too idle that they are generating a non-priority policy. The priority of Teacher Service Commission should be to recruit enough teachers. Right now we have a shortage. And motivate those teachers to work.
Fair enough. Your point has been
in the name of reform.
One last question to you. The Education Ministry insists that under delocalization, they want to promote national integration. They want to bring fresh ideas across the country. They want to bolster professionalism. Are you saying that that is not going to happen in the way this is being handled?
Here nor there. It is neither here nor there. We have developed as a union the teaching service for the last 60 years of our existence. And we have negotiated various terms and conditions of services of teachers. And we negotiated within the framework of the UN and UNESCO the localization of teachers during the Moi government through the district focus for rural development. And you'll agree with me, where teachers are located, there is faster development in the community beyond schools. The schools that have been developed and established through infrastructure is through strong connection of the teachers with those communities with their own cultural understanding. You remember, the teachers who are deployed to Northeastern ran away and come to the offices because Northeastern, we believe, they must recruit their own teachers who understand the nomadic lives of the nomads. So really, this is not a negotiated policy. Those ideas that you are telling us have not been brought to us for any negotiation and discussion. Anyway, we are reading them in the media.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We actually are out of time.
What are the thoughts of the teachers? What are the thoughts of the churches? What are the thoughts of the communities?
Thank you so much for finding time to be here with us.